I should be like you, Mavis.
Well, hello there. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, goodbye. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to Two Fans Down the Pub. It's me and it's
Craig from Up the Cherries in all departments. We're in the Cherry Fox, the leading pub. It's somewhere between Bournemouth and Leicester. So, yes. Thank you for checking us out. Do make sure, hit the like, subscribe, the bell button. It helps us grow, don't it?
You just like your bell being touched, don't you?
Oh, wow. Already it goes blue. Already it goes blue.
Of course it goes blue.
Well, it goes red as well, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're Premier League now.
Well, exactly. We're both are, mate.
Yes.
We are both are.
Yes.
And the thing is there's a team that plays in white where, you know, I can't, you know, who aren't Premier League as yet. And well, who might that be?
Are they Yorkshire by any chance?
They're Yorkshire, they're from Yorkshire.
I can't think of a big club from Yorkshire, but I can't think of one.
Rotherham, that's it. Rotherham.
They play in red, though.
Yeah, they do play in red. Oh, no, they're in Lancashire.
Huddersfield?
Huddersfield, yeah. You know, they've got a bit of blue in there, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
Harrogate? No, that's yellow, isn't it?
It's Leeds.
It's Leeds.
Leeds. We're still waiting for that riot.
Exactly.
Look who we got in. I can't see. My eyes are that bad. Mike is in. Mike, hello. Nate, hello there, you little devil. Luke, hiya, Luke. Spencer. I think Craig's that. I think that could be one of yours, actually.
Craig Gilbert.
Yeah. Reese, Vernon. Welcome, guys. I think Reese might be a Leeds fan. I'm not sure.
Is he a Leeds fan?
Oh no, there is a Reese that's a Leeds fan. I always keep getting them mixed up.
Everybody's got their faults, haven't they?
They have. You know. What does Mike say? You predict the playoffs.
I predict the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, that's probably a good place to start, isn't it? Because
it is.
Those playoffs in the Championship, they were some thrilling matches, weren't they? Some absolutely outstanding matches. You know,
I was bored. Shitless. They were both 0-0.
I'm trying to think of what happened.
Well, Leeds couldn't score against Norwich, and Norwich, who I saw dominated the game.
Yes.
So I thought, shall I stop in and watch Leeds versus Norwich, or shall I go out and spend some time with my beautiful daughter? I went out and spent time with my beautiful daughter. Leeds and Norwich didn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch the second one at all because I was out. But 2 0-0s. I mean, tie. It is literally a one-game shootout now.
I've got to say, our friends down the M27 equally did very, very well, didn't they? You know, they're looking forward to another game against West Brom where they'll get beat by my friend Carlos Corberán. And boom. Already. You do know we've interviewed Richard Archer. We've interviewed Richie Neville, Gaz Whelan, Damon Minchella.
Who?
Muzzy, is it?
Take your Richard, whatever he was called, and raise you a Muzzy, is it?
Muzzy.
That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? You know.
Well, kind of.
I'll raise my Muzzy to you. You know. Look, I interviewed Dave Bartram yesterday. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Wow.
You've absolutely no idea.
No. The vacant expression.
Yes.
Just on the face was just like, what?
That's your normal look.
Well, it is. Yes. It is.
The lead singer was Shawaddy Waddy.
Shawaddy Waddy.
In fact, we talked for 20. The interview was only supposed to be like 45 minutes. But before we even started the interview, we talked for 25 minutes about football because he's a season ticket holder at Leicester. I went, yes. So they're supposed to be talking to you about the band's tour for the radio show. Better get on with it then, haven't we? Better get on with it.
Yes.
But, so, no, it is both 0-0s. I mean, my final was a Norwich-Southampton final.
Yep.
I basically am not having a horse at the race. I don't give a shit who comes up, but I'd like it to be Southampton. And I'm sorry, I know that hurts you, but I'd like it to be Southampton purely because it's down the road and I can get a ticket.
Yeah, but I want to see Ryan Fraser's tears. I want to see Ryan Fraser crying.
I get that.
You know,
yes.
You know,
I understand. And you've got that sort of, you know, I mean, you remember Coventry were in there. I mean, like last year, I wet myself. I should have.
Well, I hope not. They do have treatments for that.
I don't know, but I hadn't fitted my catheter properly. And when Coventry lost to Luton, it was like, yeah. But
they've also got treatments for that as well.
So I know what you mean about Southampton, but I say for me, it's selfish. It's purely down, and it's interesting. I mean, we've got to say, I think before moving on, we've got to say, well done to Ipswich. What a season they've had!
Oh, I'll tell you what, absolutely outstanding season. You know, when you think Kieran McKenna, I think has to be the Championship Manager of the season by far in anybody's minds. Liam Rossini had been put in for it. I just didn't get that one at all.
Didn't he?
Well, yeah, he did.
I think Liam Rossini got the last minute substitution because Enzo should have been in there. We know Enzo should have been in there. But the EFL, like the spoiled little brats that they are, didn't want to put Enzo in because we're having a row with them and misheard them and all this, that, and the other. So they've stuck Liam in. You know, for that, you know, because they didn't want to put Enzo in. But even if Enzo had been in, you have to give it to Kieran McKenna.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I think, Kieran McKenna's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah. You know what he's done with a Ipswich team, you know, who, let's be fair, most people thought were the favourites for relegation. They thought they were going to go down. You know, I know so many people that said Ipswich won't stay up. You know, some people even had them below Plymouth. Oh, no. You know, Daniel Farker at Leeds, I can't, you know, I think he's done an okay-ish job, considering there's quite a lot of personalities there. Yeah. You know, of course, they are still fighting the playoffs, which they're going to fall at the final hurdle of. Sorry, Leeds fans.
I'm not.
No. And Liam Rossini, I don't know what the EFL's thinking was. It was like, if you imagine, years ago, going into a pub and there's Margot Robbie in front of you. Margot Robbie, and you think, yeah, go straight for that. And
children turn off now, and this is going to get dirty.
And you get rejected, and you think it gets to about 1:30, and you think, better settle for Babs. That's what I think the EFL did with Liam Rossini.
I think they did just have to pick somebody out. I'm not going to use that analogy that you. Who's Babs, by the way?
Babs. I don't know. I've just made Babs up. Mavis, who was escorted. Mavis was escorted out the last time we was here, wasn't she?
She was.
She got free. Oh, that said, she didn't have to pay for a taxi home.
She did not. No. Very nice police women escorted her.
Yeah, Dorset police. Did a quite good job with that.
But no. I just think that they had to stick somebody in there because they weren't going to put Enzo in.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh because he then got the April Manager of the Month competition because we were unbeaten.
Yes.
He won that award. And I posted and I said, that must have hurt the EFL. You have to give him that. But look, like I say, had Enzo been in there, Kieran McKenna had to win it anyway. I mean, go back to right at the start of the season, we'd got relegated. We hadn't got, obviously, Brendan, the bell end had been sacked. We got Dean Smith in.
Yeah.
He obviously wasn't going to be kept on. Otherwise, he would have been so. Had he kept us up, who knows? But he wasn't going to be kept on. And my two choices were actually John Dahl Thomason from Blackburn.
Yeah.
Now, they've sacked him, but he has gone on to the Sweden manager's job.
Yeah. I think he's a good manager.
Yes.
I think he's a good manager, actually.
And Kieran McKenna.
Yeah.
And those are the two I wanted. Now, Kieran McKenna, not a bad shout.
No, wouldn't have been a bad shout at all. You didn't think of Scott Parker, though?
Unfortunately, he was actually at the Man Cardigan. The man for those of you of a certain age, the man at C&A. Oh, look, I get my light. The light shines on the righteous if I go forward.
Okay.
Yes.
Shines on the bald spot.
Well, why did he go wear a hat?
Well, exactly. Yeah. That's what I need.
Yes.
That's what I need, Chris.
No, but I would have taken either of those. And no, Scott Parker. I mean, it was discussed. Apparently, I don't know how true this is, he was being considered. He may well have even been interviewed, but the backlash from the fans was such. And obviously, Top isn't going to just, if we say we don't like somebody who's not going to drop, he's not going to do what's best. What he thinks is his club. But yeah, he went for this. Apparently, with the Enzo was in the pipeline, bubbling away anyway.
Yeah.
Scott Parker. No. We would laugh. We would laugh ho at clubs that employed Scott Parker.
The bin man.
Who do you know? What sort of shitty teams do you know that have employed Scott Parker?
Biffa.
The bin man.
The bin man, yeah. Biffa.
Oh, you had him, didn't you, for a season?
Not one of our proudest moments, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, but the football was shit. No. I'm sorry, but it was terrible.
All right, let me ask you this then, because we've had this season, and I get asked about it all the time, that people were very, anti-Enzo tactics. We've still got a lot of fans. Look, when we won the Premier League, we played counter-attacking. Wasn't it exciting? We played 4-4-2 when we won the bloody World Cup. How far back do you want to go?
Well, yeah.
That's the style now. But people are saying it's boring. We've even had one Leicester fan that actually, after the Plymouth defeat, wanted Enzo out. I think the lobotomy, worked for him. But, it's do you really want to play good football or do you want to win? It's one or the other. What do you go for?
Well, the priority is to win. And that's what my argument was when we sacked Gary O'Neill. Because the thing was the football. Some of it was turgid, but Gary O'Neill got the results. And that's what he's been doing at Wolves this year.
Yes.
He's been getting the results. They're not, let's be honest, Chris, they started this season, Wolves did, with a side which had 5 days preparation. You know, it was a complete and utter mess. They'd sold their best players. And Gary O'Neill, to his credit, has kept them up and kept them up quite comfortably. So, yeah, it wasn't entertaining for them. It wasn't entertaining for us, but he did the job. Now, the thing is Iriola, and I said this, and, you know, I know some Bournemouth fans are going to go, oh, for fuck's sake, here he goes again. But the thing was he was playing what I call sexy football. It was
ooh la la.
Ooh la la, as Thierry Henry would say. Va-va-voom. Va-va-voom. Although saying that, that's French, not Basque. Where, of course,
splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Well, ooh la la was French, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you sent me down that rabbit hole, Chris. Thanks very much. But, but the thing was Iriola was playing this sexy football and playing this nice football. It was, you know, the Mila Kunis of football. It was lovely. However,
why does every conversation we have, usually involve, or you bring it down to involving a sexy woman?
Well, it's got to be, you know, either Mila Kunis or Margot Robbie. You know, at the end of the day, you know that. You know, I'll tell you what,
you've got a Barbie complex, haven't you? You grew up playing with Barbies.
Well, if you've seen Mila Kunis's new movie, the one where she's a crack addict, you know, yeah, it kind of puts you off a bit. But the thing is it's gone downhill. It's gone downhill. Within 16 minutes, we've discussed Mila Kunis's crack on this show. But
we will get barred.
Yeah, we will get barred. We do chat shit.
Get barred.
But the thing is that I think, you know, we was playing this lovely football, but it was ineffective. You know, when we went to Everton and got beat 3-0, oh, jeez, honestly, it was awful. And Everton weren't good that day. They were crap.
What day are they good?
Well, to be honest, they did play well against Liverpool. I've got to be honest, but, you know, that's probably the only time they have played well. You know, Everton have been toilet. As Max likes to say, they are the turd that cannot be flushed. He's not fond of Everton. I don't mind Everton.
Bit of a floater.
Yeah, they are a bit of a floater, aren't they, Everton? But yeah, but the thing is going back to it, Iriola, it was just like that, and he got it right. We turned the corner, and I tell you what, fantastic.
I mean, Gary O'Neill, I know you are a fan of Gary O'Neill, and quite right for what he did. I mean, he took over after the 9-0 drubbing, I believe, for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that was us. Didn't we? Were we the next game or the game after the next game?
You was... Because we played Wolves. We played Wolves at home, and it was 0-0. To be honest, neither sets of fans can remember it. Not even Wolves fans can remember it because it was that boring. But
I remember going mad because you beat us.
Yeah,
and,
we did.
We had this so-called bell end that was a superb...
He won the FA Cup.
Yes, I know, but look, whatever we say, I mean, am I appreciative of Brendan Rodgers? Yes, I am.
Entitled.
No, I'm turning into a Man United fan.
Yes.
But no, the thing is, you're only as good as your last season.
Yeah.
Ranieri won us the Premier League, but I still wanted him sacked when he was sacked. Because we could have gone. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yes, he did well for us, but you've got to look at your last season that you remembered for. So Brendan was supposed to be this fantastic coach, and he came up against a guy that's just come off a YTS scheme. He wasn't even a full manager; he'd never managed before, and you out-tacticked us. And fair play to him for doing that.
Yeah.
And look, with Rodgers, just to end on him, he maybe looking back, he didn't maybe deserve the stick that he had, because looking back at what happened with us in the Premier League, the PSR, the PPI, whatever it is these days. I thought that was something you got if you went swimming without goggles.
Well, PPI. PPI, that was the house. Oh, no, it was the card thing, wasn't it? It was the card thing. Have you been subject to PPI? And it's like,
sure. No, that was a joke, by the way. Swimming without goggles, PPI in the swimming baths. Yes.
Yeah.
Help me out here. Somebody tell me they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, somebody will know.
So
somebody will
the
know.
fact that, looking back, maybe he wasn't the token villain. Maybe he wasn't 100% knob. Maybe he was just 90% a knob.
But there is also another way to look at this, because Brendan Rodgers, I don't know if you remember his time at Watford and his time at Reading.
No.
You know, of course, at Reading, you know, he took over a
20 minutes in, folks, before we mentioned Reading.
Don't get them all fucking started. There we go. He was originally from Reading. But Mike's already said I'm pissed. No, this is my normal demeanour, isn't it?
I'm having to force myself to be included, otherwise I won't get a word in. Let me just say that.
So what I was saying about Reading, before you know, fucking interrupted me, was that you know, of course, he took over and he made a shambles of the job, because the thing is Brendan Rodgers is a good manager when he's got the setup in place before he goes in. Like Liverpool, you know, when he went into Liverpool, you know, he did a good job, and then of course it tailed off over time. The reason being is he's not very good at making his own changes. He's not good at making.
That is 100% true. And you know who else is like that? Claudio Ranieri. You have a look. He never seems to stay anywhere more than 2 seasons, because he goes in. His success was built on the back of what Nigel Pearson has.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that.
You know, Pearson doesn't get the credit, and I think as fans we know Pearson. I'm not saying Pearson would have won us the Premier League. I'm not saying that at all. Ranieri added something to it, but it was, you know, you got to have the foundations, and Pearson definitely built the foundations. And once he started bringing in the players he wanted, his own stuff, you know, his own transfers, it all went downhill. You know, 30 million for Slimani that he let go for nothing. You know, all right, all managers make mistakes, but so it's the same. It was the same absolutely with Ranieri as well. Yeah. Or of course, Rodgers always does well in leagues where there's only 2 teams that can win anything.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why it's done so successfully in Scotland.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
Talking about that, Jamie Vardy's joined the fucking thing. Jamie Vardy.
Jamie Vardy is a good mate. Jamie, how are you doing, sir? Nice for you to see us. I can't. It's too far away. He's put it so far away that I can't see what anybody is saying. So I am relying on Mr. Magoo. Well, I'm Mr. Magoo, aren't I?
Well, I've got contact lenses here. I've got like it'd be like fishbowl.
To me, you look like Robbie. Margot Robbie.
Margot. I tell you what, if I look like Margot Robbie, you know, it's something else.
I have had more than him. I did stuff because I was here. Let me
hold on a second, Chloe. Can I have another beer? Yeah, cheers, love. Thank you. Look at that. She's fucking good, isn't she? Look at that.
Now we're seeing people. You know that film, Sixth Sense? I see dead people. He sees barmaids.
They all like Margot Robbie. Yeah. I tell you what, that was a good bit of drama. That was. If Ryan Reynolds wants to sign me up to play his part in the next film, they can.
I do what you could do. They need a vet on him, a deal.
He had to go there, didn't he? Had to go up there.
I didn't go up there at all. You went there. I thought about you earlier on today. I was watching Clarkson's Farm.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get some trying to get some babies out of a pregnant pig. And I didn't think of you as the pregnant pig, but I did think about you with your hand up the
here they come.
The Jackson. But no, you opened the door there. I simply walked through.
Exactly. That's what you do all the time, isn't it? That's why
you should leave your back door open. What? Look at me in that
jeez. But
I'm not Jesus, but I can understand you making the mistake. He always used to walk around Beverly Hen with a purple cap. You not see that touring shroud?
Jesus supports Leicester.
Yes.
There you go. Jesus supports Leicester.
Well, he plays in goal.
Yeah.
Jesus saves.
Jesus saves.
Hey. Oh, they're all coming out tonight, folks. I have none left for next week.
Do you know what? I tell you what, this is already brilliant. You know,
let's get the elephant in the room out the way. Go on, goodbye. Out the way. I can't say much. I'm glad to see you've got your Plymouth Argyle top on.
Plymouth. Oh no! This is a thing of beauty. This is a thing of beauty.
Well, that might be not the one that's wearing it. But let's just say, look, she's that way.
There I was. I was thinking, look, there's Brad Pitt, you know, or more like armpits. But,
yeah. You know. Just quickly look, we're back, guys. We're back. Did you miss us?
Did you save that from the last time?
I did.
You did, yeah. There we go. There we are.
Oh look, I can't afford to go behind flags all the time.
Although we haven't got a Premier League Champions one.
No, that was true.
We quite like one. Iriola.
I tell you what, though,
signed a new contract.
I've got to say, well done.
Yes.
Best points tally ever for Bournemouth in the Premier League.
And there was me back in October saying about Jesse Marsh.
Well, he's gone to Canada, hasn't he? He's the Canadian manager. He's going to be at the World Cup.
Is he?
Yeah, well, according to Douglas. Hello, Douglas, if you're watching. According to Doug, yeah, he's manager of the Canadian national football team.
Well,
there you go.
There we are. You know, to be honest, there was me going on about, Jesse Marsh and, you know, thinking, wow, Jesse, you know, because we couldn't get resolved. You know, I thought Jesse Marsh with his, you know, his talk about the offensive, the defensive. What was it? When
more like Hitler than Jesse Marsh.
Something more like
That was not an American by any stretch of the imagination.
Jeez. Mixing up the Führer with Jesse Marsh. You know, I think there's a bit of polar opposites there, you know, to be fair.
Yes.
But
you know what? I do like a balanced diet. Who you?
Oh, no.
Can I just say, guys, that I actually started early because I was here at 6 o'clock ready to set up. Somebody turns up at 20 to 7.
I was driving around the car park trying to work out why, you know, the council haven't sorted out their bloody ticket machines. Yet I do pay for it.
That is not the red light district.
Oh dear!
No, you can't do dogging in Sainsbury's.
Swinging. The location for swinging. Dear!
I know what car he's got, guys. But no, so no. I know. I always go back because, of course, I've lived in this area now for 15 years.
Yes,
and I can remember 15, 60, whatever long around that sort of time. I can remember when I first came down, my son said to me, shall we go along and follow Bournemouth? There's a lot of people that I know down here had two teams. Now, one of my mates, he's an Arsenal fan. I know, I'm still mates with him. Don't know why. Arsenal fan and also a Bournemouth fan. And he would only
How does that work?
Well, he would only tweet as to whichever team had won. So if Arsenal lost and Bournemouth won, it was all Bournemouth the way around. And I did ask him once. He said, well, look, he said, you know, my dad was an Arsenal fan. So I had Arsenal, you know, through me that way, which is fair. I get that. That's why my son supports Leicester. But he said, but obviously moving down and living down here, I'm going to support my local team.
Yeah.
Now, my son said to me, so, Dad, are we going to start following Bournemouth? And I went, come on. It's like having an affair. No, it is. It's like going out and having an affair with another woman. I said, I can't do it. So, in fairness, I did support, and I did support Poole Town. I used to work for Poole Town as well.
Did you?
Yes, I was a steward. Where did I all go? All Peter, all Michael McIntyre then. Steward.
You was a steward. Steward at Poole Town.
At Poole Town.
That would have been odd.
Well, no. We did have a couple of handbags. But no, it was actually proper non-league football. I stood behind the goal. I'd only been there a couple of times. I wasn't working for them at that time. And this guy was effing and blinding next to me. And I went, you're a bit upset, mate. So I should do. I own the bloody club. He was the owner. And he's effing and blinding. But I made a lot of friends down here through that. I started off working on as a steward. They then put me on the gate because they had these boxes built. And I thought, I'm not stupid. During the winter, it's pissing down with rain. I'm stood in a box with the turnstiles, taking money, and I'm dry, and everybody else is piss wet through. I'm like, do you want to do this? Or yes, I bloody do. So no.
That sounds like something from Bournemouth more than anything.
Yeah. We always used to play Bournemouth as a pre-season friendly.
Yeah.
You know. But no, but I remember Bournemouth were in such dire straits at the time.
Yes.
You were minus, was it 27 or something ridiculous?
Minus 17.
17.
Minus 17.
And I can smell food. And you had players outside the pavilion at Bournemouth with buckets collecting money to try and keep the club going. Yeah. And it's something I have followed because I do follow the teams where I've lived or where I have worked. So like Blackpool, Burnley, Bolton. But I don't support them, but I follow them.
Exciting places.
On all the Bs, you've noticed. Yeah. I didn't make it to Bradford. I went from Blackpool to Blackburn to Burnley to Bolton to Bury. But I stopped in, I didn't go over to Yorkshire. Couldn't. And had my jabs.
No, exactly.
But no, I followed the Bournemouth story. It was an amazing, absolutely unbelievable story. And I think when you got promoted to the Premier League, it was like, wow. And obviously Eddie Howard taking you from saving you all the way up to the top league. Yeah. And I actually think us winning the Premier League did you a favour that season. And hear me out on this. Because your story was actually a bigger story than ours was. Because of where you'd been. Fourth tier, minus 17. You were dead and buried.
It was a gamble, really.
Yeah.
It was a gamble.
But you came all the way through to the top league.
Yeah.
And you would have had every newspaper following you around, looking at every result, literally doing an autopsy on you. But nobody was bothered. Because there was all this Leicester City story. And I think it let you go under the radar a little bit. And I was so glad when you stayed up.
No, mate, honestly, it's an amazing story. And going back to those times, Jimmy Quinn, of course, was...
He had a dog, didn't he?
He did have a dog. Yeah, he had a dog. And do you know what? He used to walk it around the training ground instead of taking training. That was the story. I don't know how true it is, but I believe so many people have told me it. I believe it.
Yes.
But the thing was Eddie come in. I think it was New Year's Day, if I'm correct in thinking, and it was a case of look, we're completely and utterly in the shit. League Two. If we drop out of the Football League, I know Eddie Mitchell said, no, the club would have survived. I honestly don't think it would have because the amount of money we would have lost.
Did you have Eddie Mitchell at that time?
No.
It was because it was what's he called? Curtain Man.
Yes. I'm trying to think of what his bloody name is.
There's a very good DVD video on YouTube about
Jeff Mostyn. Jeff Mostyn.
Yes.
No, I was thinking of who else was involved.
Right.
Adam, somebody probably be able to help me, but the thing was at that point, if we had dropped out he was already having to remortgage his house and sell his house to actually keep the club going.
Yes.
And it was a gamble. You get rid of Jimmy Quinn because he's shit. Put nicely,
spent too long walking his dog apparently.
Well, exactly. Yeah. That dog, well, he used to shit about 3 times around the pitch. Well-fed dog, but, apart from that, he was fucking useless football manager and put in place a manager who somebody who's never managed, to be fair, somebody who has been stricken with injury, his entire career, and it just took off. It just took off, and you know what? One of the first men that come through the door, and in fact, when I spoke to Steve Fletcher about it, exactly, he's a legend though. Steve Fletcher is a legend.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. The thing is when Steve Fletcher come on board, he was the man. He was playing for Crawley Town. He was the man, of course, that scored that goal against Grimsby Town. how many times have I told this story?
Oh, at least 200.
Yeah. He was a man that effectively saved, kept the club in the Football League. Yeah. That goal, if he hadn't scored that, God only knows, would we even be in the Premier? Would we even be a football club? I don't think we would.
But you need moments like that are going to take you forward. I don't think we would ever been in the Premier League had we not got relegated to League One that season.
Yeah.
Because we went down, we sacked the manager, we brought in Nigel Pearson. He went through the club like a typhoon, changes things, bringing better players in, get rid of Deadwood, and then obviously we went on the run. I can remember saying that there's a YouTube video out, great video about Bournemouth, about that period, and it had Gerald Krasner, who was the what do they call it?
-17.
Yeah. And he went in on one of the last meetings. He said, "I'm going to sit in front of the cameras live, and I'm going to have my script ready, and I'm going to say that this club is either A, in this position, or B." And I said, "I will look up at you, and if you nod that you're going to put," and I don't know the amount.
I think it was 100,000 or something.
If you nod your head. And I know that I'm going to get that money, I'll say the club is saved.
Yeah.
If I don't see that nod from you, and this
is going to be liquidated. Yeah.
He said, I will, turn it down, and I will say the club's finished and it's going into administration. And as he was doing it, he looked up, and I believe Jeff Mostyn was kind of, "Can I do this? My family will kill me," all this sort of thing. He nodded his head, and the rest, as they say. And Jeff Mostyn, really, you should have a statue for that guy.
Completely agree. I think, even though they didn't get on well with each other, Jeff Mostyn and Eddie Mitchell, without those two, Maxim Denham wouldn't have happened, without Maxim, Bill Foley wouldn't have happened. So I completely agree with that. And there was somebody who said to Jeff Mostyn, what I want you to do is get into your car, drive as far away from Bournemouth as you can, and never think about the place again. And he stood by the football club, which, is... It
was a lot of his own money, wasn't it, that he put in?
Well, to be honest, he sold his house. He sold his house, and there's some people that say, he's got it all back. But then again, he deserves to get it all back.
No guarantee at all.
To be honest, the club, if we hadn't gone on this, crazy rise, he probably wouldn't have got any of it back. If we hadn't even got into the Championship, I don't think he would have got a fraction of it back. No. So it was a gamble. It was a massive gamble that, he hit the jackpot. And to be honest, even though they don't get on with each other, I think personally that Eddie Mitchell, should be thanked by Jeff Mostyn. I know he's sadly no longer here. But because he got in Maxim Denham to kind of push the club on further and further, because Eddie Mitchell would never have got, us into the Premier League. Jeff Mostyn wouldn't have. It was a case, we needed a little bit more money, a little bit more oomph. We needed somebody to get somebody like Carol.
We were the same with... Yeah. We'd got out a bit. We'd got relegated from the Premier League. We just literally got the King Power built, or the Walker Stadium, as it was called at the time. And then we got relegated. Not a good.
I'll tell you what, nice stadium though. I'll tell you what, I'd take one of those.
Well, let's be honest with you. You'd take this pub if you of your stadium, wouldn't it? It's the only stadium I've ever been to where I'm.
To be honest, it probably could fit more people in the stadium.
I jest. You just like playing in the shed. But no.
Honestly, it's home though. It's a great stadium. I love it. I
know. I feel the same about
this pint's going over his head in a minute.
That's the reason I'm wearing that. But no, we went out of business. Gareth and Nicky came in.
Yeah.
And he saved us. He put a consortium together. Heskey put 100 grand in and all this, that, and the other. Anyway, saved us.
Yeah.
And then we were very, very close to going out of business again. Because we were literally, it was a plaster over a severed leg sort of thing. And Alan Birchnell, Mr. Leicester, who's our PA, ex-player, etc. He came from Chelsea, but he absolutely Palace, but he loves the club. He had a pub in the local area, absolutely top guy. He knew Milan Mandrić from when he used to play in America. He spent a little bit of time in America. Milan Mandrić had a club in America. And of course, Milan Mandrić used to own Portsmouth.
Yes.
Now, he sold Portsmouth to that Gaymart guy. or Gadmark.
And then it all went fucked up, to be honest.
He was a criminal. He was a
Yes,
total criminal. But, and I met Milan Mandrić, and I remember shaking his hand and thanking him. Alan Birchnell knew Milan Mandrić. He sold Portsmouth, and basically Milan Mandrić used to just buy clubs for £1 or something ridiculous, go in and then sell them a few years later when they were more successful.
Yes.
Go through a bit of managers like Watford do, but he turns the clubs round.
Not as many as Watford.
You'd be surprised. But yeah, so he came into Leicester, and we were able to get him in through Alan Birchnell.
Yeah.
And then he sold to this Thai consortium.
Yeah.
At that point, it was a Thai consortium, and we're like, what the fuck are these? Thailand. They don't know anything about football. No disrespect to Thailand. But I tell you what, they came in, which is obviously now King Power, because they were one of the shareholders, and they bought the others out, and they went on to the majority shareholding. They said to Milan Mandrić, we want you to stop for 6 months. Teach us how you run a football club.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant, And the first thing they did was buy the stadium back. The stadium was on debt to teachers' insurance in America. We didn't own it. We rented it back. They came along and said, right, we're going to buy your stadium back, so it's your stadium, and we're going to put that money as shares into the club. And they've been obviously brilliant ever since. But sometimes you do need to go through the dark times to appreciate the light. I mean, Man United, should they ever get back to something other than the waterfall, I watched Match of the Day too. Did you?
It was like flooding. It was flooding.
We were stood there, and I think maybe you've got a bloody studio, use it. The ITV have had the Championship programme, which is the worst football show on God's given earth. And wherever they are covering the main match, they're talking pitch side for the whole show.
Yeah.
Like, sod off, get yourself a studio. Do you know what I mean? I thought, no, we're back next season. I'll watch Match of the Day. And they were coming live from Old Trafford, presenting Match of the Day too. And there was like, it's like they stood behind Niagara Falls. You know what I mean? There's just water coming down. But if Man United now, it's like when they first started winning things under Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say that, we do take the piss out of Man United fans, and rightly so. But a lot of Man United fans haven't known anything other than success. They don't remember the pre-Ferguson days. Because pre-Ferguson, they were the Tottenham Hotspur of the day. Liverpool were dominant. Man United won the odd cup here and there. All right, that's more than Tottenham, but that's So when they started winning things, yes, it was like unbelievable. And I think you have to go through those bad times to appreciate the good. I think if they were to win anything again, don't know when that might be, but I think they would appreciate it more now.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's why we've appreciated this season. All the fans that remember it, remember that season. The thing was that season I didn't think that the club was going to survive. I didn't think that the club, and then all of a sudden the following season we got promoted out of that division. That was only because Eddie Howe did well. He was shrewd, he was clever. Free transfers, loans. We couldn't sign anybody for a period of time. So what he did,
how that feels at the moment.
Well, the thing was it's a remarkable job. It's a remarkable job that he did, and then of course he went to Burnley, come back. A lot of people say his wife didn't like it in Burnley and things like that. But
can I be honest with you? I don't blame her. I lived in Burnley for 20 years. I don't blame her at all.
To be honest, I know that when I did Cherry Abroad, I said, Andy Hodgson said it's the creme de la creme of the UK. The king of shopping TV, the creme de la creme of the UK is Burnley. Get that. Creme de la creme. The creme de la creme of the UK.
It's bloody...
it's on par with fucking Swindon.
Yes. No. It makes Swindon look good. Believe you me.
Makes Swindon look like Marbella.
It's not the creme de la creme. It's the thing that's gone off and passed itself by day. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The nicest people.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
they are lovely, lovely people. Hello, Dan. But no, they are. And I, like I say, I've worked all over the Northwest. I came from Leicester originally. They are the nicest locals. And I say that, nothing against Bournemouth, but probably with so many Bournemouth locals are not from Bournemouth originally. It's like I've lived here 15 years, but I'm not a local.
No, they're very
local people from local shops, you know.
Exactly, local shops.
Yes.
Local shops.
But no, I mean, Ed, to be honest with you, me and my family came from Bournemouth down to this part of the country.
Yeah.
No way would I want to go back the other way. I mean, excuse me, I don't blame.
Had one too many, haven't you?
But it's good job it came up that end, don't you? You know. The other end, I might have followed through.
It'd be like Man United Stadium. You'd be fucking flooding out. Oops.
I need a drink. But no, yeah. If you've lived down here, as the UK goes, if I had to sort of, and obviously I do live down here, this is a lovely part of the country. So yes. I don't blame him in coming back. He will be a future England manager. Sorry,
yeah, he will be. Yeah, he will be.
You know.
And do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Dare I say this now? If England doesn't win this Euros, and we'll come on to the Euros in a second, I'm sure. But if England don't win the Euros, because we've got the best squad we've had for years, and I mean years. I was looking back at the 2002, squad, the golden generation. So they said under Sven Gore and Eriksson,
Good man.
Yeah,
hope you're all right, Sven. If you're watching, obviously not well.
Lovely man. Yeah. Lovely man, and terrible what's happening to him.
Yeah.
But the thing is that golden generation. I think we're actually in a different golden generation. The only thing is we haven't got the Führer. Is that a word? I don't know.
We're back to Hitler. We haven't got
not Führer. Führer. See, this is where. Pronunciation isn't my key.
Pronunciation.
Oh no, isn't my key. My key. Shall we start again? So basically, what I'm trying to say is that we have not got as much media attention on this England squad as the golden age.
They have it. You talk.
So that's basically what I was saying. There is a word, I try and play Wordle on a daily basis.
Is the word you're looking for.
Do you know what? I play Wordle on Twitter on a daily basis.
I remember you when you had a life.
Bit of a side step here, but I play Wordle on a daily basis.
A side step with you.
And I play Wordle. Listen to him. I play Wordle. Don't do that.
What? Who plays words? Come on. But 5-letter words. It's not exactly hard, is it?
But I play Wordle with somebody who's got a streak of 444 days without getting one wrong. I can't get up to fucking 4.
Why would you want to?
Well, it's like a Monday morning. Motivation thing that just goes through the week. And you think, before, sat there in bed, you just sat there, F.
Wait, but if you had a wife who you got excited who was interested in sex, F, U, C.
But there I am. And I always start. Do you know what? I start, and one day it's going to come up.
You say that to the missus a lot.
I come up with the word audio. Audio. Now, audio is a great word because it's got so many letters. It's got A, it's got U, it's got I, and it's got O in it. Now, the thing is that should be, that should be a great word. But, of course, it doesn't work. And I'm useless at Wordle, and that's why I can't. But where were we? We were going on to England. We was going on to.
Wake me up when you're back on football.
We was going. We was going on to the England squads, and the thing is the England squads is I think we've got the best England squad that we've had for years and years and years and years, as long as I can remember. If Southgate doesn't win this Euros, I think he'll be gone. It won't be his decision.
Can I just say something?
Go on.
Before you make yourself look a total fool, although I might be wrong and make myself look a total fool. Southgate's contract runs out after the Euros, and he said he's going anyway.
I missed that bit.
I mean, he may be convinced. If we win it, he may be convinced to stay.
What, to the World Cup?
Yeah, I don't get. All joking aside, now
I think that World Cup. I'll say this now, and somebody can capture this when it doesn't fucking happen, probably. But I'd say this: that World Cup, we will win that World Cup. We will win that World Cup 100%.
But yeah, we got vodka in that, mate.
No, we will, honestly, we will win that World Cup. We'll win that World Cup.
Right. In
the US, Canada, and Mexico. And Jesse Marsh is talking about offensive, defensive, and the red zone. The red zone. That's what, have you ever seen that? Where he was talking about, he was on Sky Sports, and he was
no idea what this guy is
and he was like, they come into the red zone. We have to defend the red zone. And I was thinking, what the fuck's the red zone? This isn't bloody.
I think both of us had a lucky escape. We dodged the bullet somewhat, didn't we, when we missed?
But there was me calling for him and saying, well, actually, he might get results because Ariola couldn't.
What do you? Are you surprised?
Good job I'm not Bill Foley, isn't it?
It is. But I've got look. While we're talking England, I do think Eddie Howe will take over.
Yes.
Whether that is after the Euros, I have a feeling it will be.
Yep.
I mean, whether he said he was going to leave, whether he will or not, let's see how we do at the Euros. Let's be honest with you, we were that close to winning the last Euros. When you look at even that golden generation, it's always down to penalties 9 times out of 10. Euro 96, we were a pubic hair away from, Gaza getting that ball in the back of the net. So, but what is wrong with Southgate? Everybody seems to hate Southgate.
I don't hate him, but I think he's got the best England squad for years.
Yeah,
and he'll persist with Henderson. Henderson should not be going to this Euros. If he takes Henderson, I'm sorry, but that is a ridiculous move because, Henderson's sold out. He could have played for Bournemouth. He could have played for Fulham. He could have played for somebody over here. Or he could have played, he could have gone straight to Ajax. Now, that would have made sense. And I think he would have got his time. But instead, he chose the money to go to Saudi Arabia, which is a shit league.
Would you not? Whenever we leave a job, as normal human beings, not footballers, whenever we leave a job, it's one of 3 reasons. We're sacked.
Yeah.
Or we've moved on because we can, and get promotion and get money.
Yeah.
One of those 2 reasons. So why shouldn't footballers do the same?
You've got a very good point.
Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you, Doug. You are a gentleman, sir. Well done. He's become a member again.
Has he become a member?
Yeah. Well, he was a member before.
Well done, Doug.
He was a member before, but he's renewed. You are a gentleman, sir. And I will have your babies.
I tell you what, that would be a creation, wouldn't it?
That would be a show, wouldn't it?
That would be a show in itself, albeit, very strange sort of show.
Two fans down the pregnancy unit. But look, let's get it right. I have left.
Where's this going?
I have no idea. Good evening, Doug. I have left many jobs. I'm 60 odd years old, 63. Yeah. I've left many jobs in my time. And the main reason that I leave my jobs was for promotion. And if it's promotion, it's more money.
Yeah.
Now, a footballer, we all know they don't play on past their sort of maybe, let's say 45, unless you're Jamie Vardy, you probably play when you're 90. But so you've got a short career. Are you not going to get the best money you can in that time you were playing? Of course you are.
Yeah, of course.
If someone in Saudi Arabia came to you and said, look, come and work for us, and we'll give you 3 times. I mean, I left a job. I used to work for the local paper down here, and I was approached. It was always nice to be approached by one of my advertisers, actually, that said, would you come and work for me? And I went, he said, well, come and have a chat. It was a weird interview. It was down a pub, over tapas bar, over lunch, We're having a drink and he offered me the job. I said, look, I'm going to go away and think about it.
Yeah.
And as I was driving away, my phone went. And I put it on Bluetooth, just in case anybody's watching. And I put it on Bluetooth and he went, yeah, it's me. How you doing? I've been thinking about it. I want to give you an extra £1,000. Now, he upped that £1,000 just because I said I wanted to go away and think about it. Why did I take that job? I'd got a secure job. I'd been there 7 years. I was actually supervising with my department, back to be made manager. And I went to that job because it was giving me a lot more money, plus then that extra £1,000 on top. That's all footballers are doing. And the other thing at the end of the day is, as a manager, whether it's of a Bournemouth or Leicester, we have a go. We have a go at Ariola. We have a go at Enzo. Why is he picking in? 5 times out of 10, we're wrong, and the guy comes off having a great game.
Well, yeah.
And it's the same, though. It's like we did not keep Christensen, a fantastic left back, but Enzo doesn't play with right backs or left backs. He played with the back three, and Christensen didn't want to move into that role. So he said, well, I'll let you go then and move. And now Christensen's got Champions League football at Bologna if he stays there and what have you. So well done to him. But there's no point picking players for your starting 11 if they're not going to fit into the style that you play. And it is the same for England. Goalkeeper possibly, striker possibly. But apart from that, you've got to pick the players that fit into your squad, fit into your formation and your style of play. Yeah. No matter how good player A is for his team, if he is playing in a position that you do not have, you don't pick him. And of course, Leicester fans go mad at Enzo, Bournemouth fans will go mad at Ariola, we'll go mad, everybody goes mad at the England manager.
Yeah, no, completely.
And that's the thing, you've got to trust the England manager. And he has got us, my God, he's got us to a semi-final of a World Cup.
With the best squad.
He's got us to the...
With the best squad we've ever had for years.
Yes, but does that not mean that other countries might have their best squad?
I think if Eddie have... No, to be honest, I think this is going to be a weak Euros. I think, personally, this is a weak Euros, where, I think that, let's be honest, Germany, subpar. Spain, subpar. France, I don't think they're as strong as they were. I think that we've got a good chance of winning this.
It could be like the Eurovision. The Switzerland come from nowhere and win it.
Well, exactly. Although, Eurovision...
Let's not go there.
Well, yeah, let's not go there.
That is a minefield of...
well, at this moment in time, it's an absolute minefield.
But no, I just think we are saying this is our best ever team. It's like we go to the World Cup with our best ever team. Is our best ever team even close to Brazilians' best ever team? No, it doesn't come within the yardstick of it. No. So it's all right saying this is our golden generation. We've got the best ever team. But, if we're not, we've got to think about what other countries are doing as well. And people don't, it gets me annoyed when people go, Southgate's rubbish, blah, blah. Southgate's done better than any manager other than Sir Alf Ramsey. And Sir Alf Ramsey didn't get qualified for the 74 bloody World Cup.
Set him off now.
You have.
But no, honestly, I can't see how Henderson could go. I can't see how he could go. And the thing is, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, but why did he go to Saudi Arabia?
Because they paid him lots of money.
Yeah, but the league, the players, can you imagine?
Why did Rodney Marsh go and play in the first ever American Super League? Why did George Best go and play in the first ever American Super League?
To improve the level.
Oh, no, they didn't. They went because they were offered lots of money.
Beckham's another one.
Pele,
if you watch...
but I'm on about the first lot of American football.
Yeah,
right? Because they tried it,
it
failed, and then they brought it back. But you had the likes of Pele, Beckenbauer, Alan Birchnell. They all went to America.
Cosmos, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was one of the teams, but they didn't go because they thought we can do great things and change football. They went because they were given a bloody big wage.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, I'm the same. If a player is playing well in the Championship, why shouldn't he be in the England squad?
I completely agree with that.
So if you're saying if you completely agree with that, It doesn't matter what country they're playing in or whatever.
But the Championship's a better league than the Saudi league.
Okay.
It's like turning round and saying, right, Patson Daka, right up here, Patson Daka, right, goes to play up. What park should we call it? Victoria Rec. You know, like there's a park.
Yeah.
You know, we'll just call it Victoria Recreation Ground.
Yes.
And there's a Sunday League game coming. And there's Patson Daka, walks in with his little bag. There's his boots, all that. Says, that's playing today. You know, at the end of the day, the standard that he's playing up against, you can't then turn around and say, yeah, he should be in the Leicester team. Because the standard he's playing up against is shit. And basically, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, and I get what you're saying, but he does that for Zambia. And let's be honest with you, Zambia isn't the hotbed of international football.
No, not really.
And he scores for Zambia.
No.
Thing is, though, Gareth Southgate will have that squad together, and he'll have a large squad that he then has to trim down. So he'll have a squad together that will give him, I don't know, 30 players, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he will look at Henderson and he'll go, yeah, Henderson can still do a job for me.
Yeah.
He is manager. It is his right to pick who he wants, who he thinks is better or is best in those positions.
Yeah.
And if he feels it's Henderson, then you have to go with him. And, you know, you've got to think, well, you know, the experience. All right, he's playing in Saudi Arabia. So fucking what? I don't care if he's playing in, in the Welsh, third division.
The Welsh third division.
Yes.
There we go.
That probably would still be better than the Saudi Arabia league before. But look, it's down to the manager at the time. We have to trust the man. We're all managers. We all think we can pick a better starting 11 for our own teams or for England.
Welsh third division, is that where MK Dons currently are?
Possibly. It's where Reading could end up. No, I'm teaching to bring Patson Daka into the conversation.
Piss off my dad now. He's just like, fucking hell.
Hello, Dad.
Get him off. Who's that silly sod in the burgundy cap?
You press my button, mate. You don't press my button, not get away with it. But no, that's all I'm saying. He is manager. He chooses.
Yes.
And there's no point picking players that are not going to. He doesn't believe in. Do you remember that year when Ericsson took over? Who's that young lad? Went from Southampton to Arsenal. Striker. And he never really played up to his full potential. But you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
And he took him to the World Cup. South Africa, I think it was. Took him to the World Cup. No, it wasn't South Africa. Or was it South Africa?
No. You mean Theo Walcott?
Yes, Theo Walcott.
Theo Walcott.
It wasn't South Africa. But the first time he took
Believe
Theo
it or not,
Walcott,
I'll tell you what. There's a bit of sides.
Tell me. Don't tell me he had a dog.
No, Theo Walcott, I played against his brother years ago. So I was playing for a team called Pearly Jubilee. And Theo Walcott's brother is called Ashley. And I played against them. Yeah, we did get humped, 4-1.
Really? It would be off again if you were doing that.
Well, he was playing for AFC Newbury. If you do the searching, you'll be able to actually find, Theo Walcott actually played for them as well. But the thing is Theo Walcott's brother was just as fucking good as him, really. In terms of quality. Although saying that, let's be fair, I don't think I am the equivalent of, think of players that Theo Walcott played against. I'm not
Frank
equivalent.
Lampard?
Yeah, I'm not really Frank Lampard, am I?
No.
Or Steven Gerrard.
No.
I'm more.
You're more of a Jesse Marsh.
Did he ever play a game?
I presume he did at some point.
Yeah,
yes.
or did he just talk about the soccer, or did he just talk about the red zone?
Probably. You're completely fascinated by this red zone, aren't you?
The red zone.
Yeah.
Keep him out of the red zone. Keep him out of the red zone. That's what Leeds United. That's what Leeds United. That sort of team in Yorkshire.
What was she called?
That's what
the waitress.
Chloe.
Have another one. Cheers. Thank you. She's very quick. That very, very polite.
She is.
Yeah, I do like. Thanks, Chloe. Thank you. Cheers. What a lovely lady.
She is, isn't she?
Yes. You see, if you'd have been here on time, you'd have got a third in, but you're only on your second.
I tell you what, Chloe. Oh, she's ignoring me now.
Don't blame her. Who doesn't even?
But yeah, as you were saying.
I can't remember. What was I saying?
I can't remember.
Henderson.
Henderson.
Not
the Muppets
either. No, Theo Walker. That was what we were talking about.
Yes.
Sven took him to one of the World. It wasn't Africa because that was the Italian guy.
That was Fabio Capello.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it was before that. He took Theo Walcott. Never played him in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And took him for the experience. Now, that could have been taken by somebody that he could have played and maybe could have come on and changed the game. I don't know. But look, you go with the manager. They decide who they want, who they don't want. They will stand or fall by their decisions. If they fall, they get sacked.
Mm.
But Southgate, like I say, third in the World Cup, was it second? Quarterfinals, then semi-finals, finals of the Euros, which we went out. We should have won that. It was,
To be honest, we should have. If we had scored against France, that penalty that Harry Kane missed. Yeah. To be honest, I wouldn't blame him. I don't blame him at all. But if we, well, to be honest, he has kind of taken the Spurs lurgy with him, hasn't he? Really.
Well, the other thing, of course, is James Maddison left Leicester to go to Spurs to win trophies. Mm. Harry Winks came from Spurs to Leicester to resurrect his career and ended up winning one.
I know. It's probably the first thing he won. He probably thought, this is good.
There's winning feeling you get when you leave Spurs and come to Leicester.
But then again, Harry Kane's just kind of taken it to Germany with him, hasn't he?
He has. That's a shame. It's almost funny. No, it is funny, actually. Let's be honest with you. But let's talk Premier League, because we're back.
Yes.
We're back. And I have to say, I haven't missed it. I've absolutely loved Championship football.
I know where we're going with this.
VAR. Oh, you do? Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Now, if we... Daka, your favourite player.
Yeah.
Daka, second goal against... We were 1-0 up against Leeds.
Mm.
Daka's second goal was disallowed for offside.
Yeah.
That would have made us 2-0 up. We'd have gone on and won that game.
Yeah.
It was ruled for offside.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. And we lost the game with 2 late goals. And obviously we lost, we were 17 points clear at the time. That would have been us.
Mm.
But there was no VAR, because VAR would have given us that goal.
Yeah.
VAR would have said, no, that goal was onside, you can have it. But the linesman said, no, it was offside. I don't care. I know we've still gone up, but I do not care, because it's football. We didn't have to wait 20 minutes while they put crossing lines and playing Wordle or whatever it was with the lines and the crosses. And the referees in this division, the number of times I have gone when I've been doing my watch-alongs, that's a foul. And I'm looking at it thinking, no, it fucking wasn't. It was a Premier League foul.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a football foul because it's a contact sport. And the referees made mistakes. And somebody said to me not so long ago that, I said referees' mistakes even out over the period. It's human. You accept that it's human. I was one of the ones that was shouting for VAR, but you accept that, it is, they are going to make mistakes and it does even out. Somebody said, yes, but VAR evens out. I said, but VAR shouldn't fucking well even out. VAR should be getting it right 100% of the time.
Completely agree. And this is the problem, is the consistency.
What's it again you played? Where it went on, it was like a
7
minute
decision. And that was the Burnley game. To be honest, it's a good job that goal from Jay Rodriguez, which was, by a fingertip, was ruled out. Because the thing is if that had been ruled to be a goal, Iriola might not be in the job, because Bill Foley come over to the country, and I think there was probably some nagging doubts in the back of his mind. We've been beaten by Wolves, we've been beaten by Everton, we got thrashed against Arsenal. The Brighton game was a joke at the Amex. You know, it was 1-0 up in that game. And the thing is from 16 seconds from our own kickoff. Now, how you do this, I don't know. 16 seconds from your own kickoff, we conceded. Now, the thing is that kind of indicates that, you know, things were going wrong. Yeah. But VAR ruled that, you know, and it was 7 whole minutes. The problem is we've had so many of those situations. And you look at the Arsenal game. Now, some Arsenal fans are going, well, it wasn't. It was a goal. We scored a goal in that game. And there was no or minimal contact between Solanke and David Raya. And there, you know, the referee, after deliberating with VAR and bringing up all these lines and boring the shit out of us, has gone, no, that's not a goal. He's also given a penalty. You know, Havertz has gone through. To be honest, I don't blame Havertz for what he did, because he left a training leg, you know, went over Mark Travers, down he went, won the penalty. I don't blame him. But at the same time, how long it took. And it's kind of like, I was watching the game last night between Liverpool and Aston Villa, and you know, Villa celebrate getting back into it. Sorry, Doug, but you know, Villa celebrate getting back into it, and then all of a sudden, it's just like, is it? Is it not? VAR's looking at it. Is it not? Don't know. It's taken the whole excitement out of it. Yes, whereas, and as well, I'll say this now, I think the standard of refereeing is poorer in the Premier League, because referees are one or two. They're either making decisions and being overruled and realise that they're being overruled by bad technology and people outside the stadium, or they're not making those big decisions and waiting for VAR to go, oh, that's a penalty, that's a free kick.
It's back to this clear and obvious.
Yeah.
It doesn't take you 8 minutes to decide if it's clear and obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will accept VAR making mistakes if they have a minute to make that decision.
Agree. You know, that's what they should need to do.
You know, you got a minute, you get it wrong, fine. Even with VAR in that time, because you haven't had time. You know, you 8 minutes, but it's got to be this clear and obvious. Dan, who is the Turf Morehouse TV, good mate. Hiya, Dan. How you doing? He said, because obviously he was down there. Well, he's going to be down there again next season. We were waving at each other again. We were waving at each other last season, and we're waving at each other again this season. And he said, you will enjoy the championship. I mean, somebody said to me, 10 games in, how are you enjoying life in the championship? And I said, it's fucking brilliant because we're winning. Yeah. It was nice to win games again, but it's also nice. You score a goal. You look at the line.
You didn't have Scott Parker in charge.
We didn't have Scott Parker. That's true. Or Jesse Marsh. You score a goal. You look. Has the linesman put his flag up? No. Is the referee running back to the centre circle? Yes. Fucking celebrate then.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I tell you what, we've had some good and bad referees. Most of those bad referees we've had are Premier League referees that have been dropped down into the Championship to referee our games. And they've been fucking awful. But you know, no, I'm gonna say I've enjoyed it. I wouldn't say no. I mean, I spoke to a Southampton fan, Jack from Matchday Vlogs, and he was saying, so we obviously played each other recently and we beat them, but he was saying that if we've got to have another season in the Championship, it isn't the end of the world. It's great football.
Jack, it will be the end of the world for Ryan Fraser because he'll bugger off and do nothing.
Oh, we have to get that in. But yeah, I am. Obviously, I'm pleased to be back. I'm glad to be back, as you can see from the flag. But I am going to miss the Championship. It's been great. I mean, we played 8 games in a month in April. Pretty ridiculous, but it wasn't that different when we were doing well in the Premier League. What we've got to remember is, and I've been saying this all season, look at Burnley. They actually ended up on 101 points, 4 points more than we did this season. They've come straight back down.
Yes.
All right, they've maybe got more players on loan. You know, our main loanee we have to buy now because they've gone up. That was in the deal, Fatawu. But you know, we we've got to be careful that we're not going to go back into the Premier League and go straight back to how we were under Rodgers when we were finishing 10th and what have you. Give me 17th now, mate.
Yeah,
I'll bite your hand off.
I think as well, you know, what you've got to also be able to do, and this is Burnley's biggest problem, is they didn't adapt.
No,
they didn't adapt.
But they had
to be fair,
good players, didn't they? Because they had a lot of loans they couldn't keep.
Yeah, they didn't adapt though, and you know, Company has got it right, but right at the end, too late. So I think, you know, with regards to Burnley, they should stand by Vincent Company.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because the old Burnley would have done, because they've got the new owners as well.
Yeah.
The old Burnley would. I mean, they still, when they got relegated, they've been in Europe and then got relegated, stood by Sean Dyche, and he brought them straight back up again.
Yeah.
I think they should with Vincent Company. Look, when I said earlier, if you remember, that I wanted John Dale Tomlinson or Kieran McKenna. I had no idea. I mean, Enzo Maresca, I mean, he was the best thing that could have happened to the club in as much as 6 days before he walked through our door, he was holding the Premier League, the Champions League trophy aloft. Yeah. And he was Pep's number 2. We were all sort of, and then it kind of, hang on, who is he? What's he won? Yes, he's won the Premier League under-18s or whatever it was with Manchester City, but he went to Parma as manager. How long was it? 13 games he was there, and they sacked him. I know they made the mistake, you know, but you suddenly start to think that then. And certain clubs, you have to look at these things as a long-term project. What Vincent Company has taken to Burnley, I believe, and I'm not a Burnley fan. I follow them, like I say, but I don't know the ins and outs. We only know our own clubs really well. But it's a plan. It's a long-term plan. Yes. And it's the same with Leicester. You know, we have got the facilities there to be, again, long-term stays in the Premier League. Whether we will or not, time will tell. But you have to, even if Enzo struggles next season, and he probably won't change his style because he hasn't done it all this season, but that style is probably better adapted, in fairness, to the Premier League anyway. You have to stick with your managers. You have to give them, just because they go down, you know. So let's, you know, Burnley, they get relegated, they go down, and the manager comes in. He goes, "Oh, I don't like you. You don't fit into my style." Because like when Enzo came in, all right, a lot of our players were totally out of contract anyway, so they got rid of all the deadwood. But like the likes of Christensen and Sumari didn't fit into his plan, so he let them go. So we're going to start all over again. Are Burnley going to start all over again? Wasted all that money bringing in players for Company to fit his style of play, bringing a new manager who doesn't play the same way, doesn't get on with the players, so brings in all his own players. It's just more money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. But the good news is, if you win at the weekend, you could go with Man United, I believe. Doug was telling me that. I know, with their flooded stadium. Yeah. Man United have been poor this year. And do you remember when they signed Eric Ten Hag? They nicknamed him Eric 11 Hog. Do they now call him Eric 2.5 Hog? Honestly, hi Mike, how you doing? I just think they've been very, very poor. They deserve a lot better. The players, you know, Marcus Rashford has let them down. You know, they were very, very lucky, you know, to even get the point they did when they were at Dean Court. We should have beaten them. You know, I'm disappointed we didn't. But at the same time, you know, they should be beating us home and away. They should be beating us home and away. Man United are a side who should be at the very, very top of their game. But I think, you know, success breeds expectations. Let's be honest with you, like him or love him, you've got to respect Sir Alex Ferguson and what he did. Definitely. Like I say, pre-Alex Ferguson, Man United were no better than Tottenham Hotspur are now. You know, flattering to deceive, won the odd cup every now and again, and that was it. Alex Ferguson, wow, what he did at Man United will never be. He's the best, and shoot me down for saying this, but he's the best manager any club has ever had. You know. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, success there. Yeah. But how do you follow him? You know, it's No, normally you say
Brendan Rodgers.
There was a time when he was being linked with Man United.
I know there was, wasn't there?
Barcelona, yeah. You know, now he's being linked with Celtic. Well, he's at Celtic.
Well, yeah.
You know, but no, it's you know, you want to be the manager that follows the manager that follows. You know, I mean, David Moyes wasn't given long enough. You know,
no, I completely agree with you on that. David Moyes, I think, would have made success at that job. You know what Ferguson did is back in 2013, he looked at that side and he thought, I've got an aging side. I don't know if I'll be able to keep this up. And that's when he chose to walk away. Yeah. Arsene Wenger chose to carry on. And that's why, you know, he went the last couple of seasons at Arsenal, well, for quite some time, really, actually, when you look at it, you know, went some time without winning a single thing.
Yes.
So,
still are.
Well,
apart from the odd FA Cup.
Well, you never know. Are Spurs, you know, doing...
Who won the Championship most recently, Leicester or Arsenal?
Yourselves.
Because we did. We did, 2016.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, buried inside the Emirates Stadium.
Oh, I thought you meant the Championship. I was going to say.
No,
when was the last time Arsenal were in the second
tier? But if you Google Emirates Stadium, you know how they have when you Google Map it, they have those like things that pop up, like like Julie's hairdresser and all this, and Beryl's massage parlour.
Beryl's massage. That's where Chris is going. Hello, Beryl.
Get a discount. Get a discount.
Oh, there we go. That's what you did do.
But there actually was a thing on the Emirates Stadium. It said Arsenal time capsule.
I've seen that time capsule the other day. Yeah, I saw that time capsule the other day when I was on Arsenal TV. Very interested actually.
AFCB.
Yeah, didn't see Beryl's massage parlour. Mind
you weren't looking in the right. You know what? I went to see my daughter.
You know where that is.
I know, and she's asked me to keep it a secret because I get a special discount. You see, so you know, buy one get one free. Or is it Sofo? Suck one get one free. One of them.
Where has this show gone?
This show started at the bottom and it's never really risen, has it?
No.
Do you know that feeling, don't you?
Soppy bollocks here.
What the hell was I talking about? What did I say there before?
Time capsules.
No, then we moved on from time capsules. Oh, yes. My daughter lives in London.
Yes.
And her boyfriend, who she lives with, therefore I'm presuming will at some point become my son-in-law, is an Arsenal fan.
Fair enough.
Despite that, he's a really nice guy. And we went the other day, we were to see Mamma Mia in London. Everybody that follows me knows I'm a ABBA fan. And it was great that one of the underground stations we got off at was Tottenham Court Road. And I had to take a picture of him stood underneath the Tottenham Court Road sign.
Chris, it could be worse though.
Could it?
He could be a fan of I can't remember what they're called. Some Yorkshire club. They play in white. It could be a Yorkshire.
York City?
No, that's not the one. Not Rotherham. We've covered that one off. Doncaster Rovers?
No. Begin with an L. Begin with an L. Yes.
I did Leak. No, that's going a bit too far. It's similar to that. Similar to
the last letter.
And plus, weren't they beaten by some team in Cambridgeshire? What was that team called? Oh, Histon. Yeah, Histon. Yeah.
I did say to my daughter, I said to both my daughters, I said, I will not judge your boyfriends. It's not for me to judge your boyfriend. I'm not going out with them. You are. I said, I just don't come back with a drug addict, someone whose face is covered in tattoos and has got a bloody,
one of those
earrings or anything through everything, piercings all over your body, or the Leeds fan. Those are the 4 conditions that I put on there.
Well, she's ticked all the boxes.
She has.
Yes.
No, Ali. Good evening, Ali. Probably not watching, but good evening, Ali. He's a great lad. He's a great lad, and much to my daughter's chagrin, we when we get together, we completely take over. She might as well not be there because we just end up talking football. All right, Abby, you still here? Go put kettle on, love. Get in the kitchen. Oh, that upset half the audience.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. They're all tapping at the moment on Twitter.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Cancel him.
Cancel. Yeah. I'll tell you what. We've done an hour and 25 minutes.
My God, I didn't know you could go that long. I spoke to your wife, and she said, you'll be lucky to get 10 minutes out of it. You won't do another one of these, will you?
I'll tell you what, I absolutely love this. I have loved
it, yeah. Don't know what people have been saying. I can't say
I know. There's all sorts of comments. Yeah. There's all sorts of comments.
We are going to have a bit of food after this.
Yes.
And we will read through the comments.
Yes.
But don't forget, 2 subscriptions are needed.
Yes.
1 to LTiD TV and 1 to
UTCIAD AFCB. That is the tagline.
Fire, mate.
Up the cherries in all departments. UTCIAD. Also, if you haven't realised, we've interviewed Richard Archer from Hard Five. We've interviewed Richie Neville from Five. Gaz Whelan from the Happy Mondays. Adam Devlin from the Blue Tones. Damon Minchella from Ocean Colour Scene. Harry Redknapp. Professor Brian Cox. Steve Fletcher. Steve Cook. Charlie Daniels. James Hayter. You've had Muzzy Is It?
Muzzy Is It? Yeah. Muzzy Is It?
He's probably a lovely bloke.
It's an international.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Just quickly before we go, like Brad, who obviously does a lot on the LTID TV with me, he is a huge Muzzy. Muzzy is his favourite player. And I've been trying to get Muzzy on for ages. And this one time he said yes. I'm like, okay then. And I said to Brad, "Oh, Muzzy, is it coming on?" And he went, "Oh, mate, I'm so jealous. I'm going to be watching it, blah, blah, blah." Now, I knew I was going to ask him on, but I didn't say anything until the day before. I said, "What are you doing tomorrow, mate?" He went, "Oh, I'm probably going to be watching, because you're interviewing Muzzy, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah." Fancy coming on and asking him a question? Oh, wow, mate, really?
It's like a kid at a sweet shop, I bet.
And, Brad. And the thing was, because I knew what I was doing, allegedly, before I brought Brad on, I did a Jim will fix it moment where I said, "I've had a letter."
Oh, do you don't ever want to do one of them? No, bloody hell.
No. I've had a letter from a fan, Muzzy. I said, "Don't worry, and does this say, Dear Chris, I am a Muzzy fan. Mum says I should stop stalking him, but I want to meet him and talk about that. Could you fix it for me to ask him a question?" Brad was absolutely apoplectic. He went mad at me.
Oh dear.
Oh, but no, my Muzzy is well known. I've also had, if we are naming names,
go on, because
Jonathan Ross's brother on.
Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross, the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Ross, his brother.
Paul Ross.
There we are,
Paul Ross.
And his dog. You'd have loved that.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Quinn, I know, is not a big fan of the channel, so...
Is he not a comedian? Oh, that's Jimmy Cricket.
Yeah. Jiminy Cricket, that's the thing from, what do you call it?
And there's more.
Pinocchio.
And there's more. No, he's a comedian.
I haven't interviewed Jiminy Cricket. He's a fucking cartoon.
No, he's a comedian.
What, Jiminy Cricket?
Yeah, Jiminy Cricket.
Jiminy Cricket.
And there's more.
That's the thing from Pinocchio when he goes.
Yes, but If you're watching Mrs. Craig, I bet you wish you could do that. What'd she say to you? She told me face and told me lies.
And on that bombshell, I think we better leave. Do
subscribe to both channels, LTID TV on YouTube and all your other social media sites, and up the
cherries in all departments, not up the clarets in all departments. You won't find nothing there. UTCIAD.
We'll see you next week, guys.
See you next week.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
I should be like you, Melvin.